Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Cup of Joe with Poe. I'm your wayward traveler, Don Poe. We're currently on location here in Hawaii. Nice and early in the morning, and we are at a local McDonald's. Now, something I've noticed about Hawaii is it doesn't have a large problem with immigration because it's not easy to swim across the ocean to get here. So there's not that big of a problem, but I do have a lot of expertise on the mainland when it comes to immigration, border cities, states, things of that nature. The real easy way to clarify this is you have right and wrong. You have a set of rules and laws that apply to Social Security card holders. If you are born in America, then you have the right to claim yourself as an American citizen, and you were given a Social Security card. This is a number that tells law enforcement or whoever, hey, this person is a naturally born U.S. citizen, okay? Now you can become a U.S. citizen through many different ways. If you have the money, you can just pay the $5 million and get the gold card. You can pay the $750 and take the actual citizenships test, as I advise Tom McDonald should do, and quit being a piece of shit, because that's what he is. But besides all that, that's a whole different subject, a whole different story. We'll get into that later on today, different podcast. So, really simple. If you come into this country without permission, then you can be returned to your country of origin without permission. There is no due process. There is no, you have to go in front of a judge for what? For what? You have no rights. If you come here illegally, what rights are you allotted? What are you literally entitled to? You break the law by coming here illegally, so what's next? You should just be able to go to court and defend yourself on why? No, it's real simple. File the paperwork. If I want something done in my life right now, I have to file paperwork. Whether it be online, no matter what it is. It's not as simple as you just go and verbally do this and it's done. Maybe 1,000 years ago, people used to be able to operate on a barter verbal system. People are flawed more now than they have ever been from the past. At least in the past, the things they did that we don't find morally justified or righteous, at least they did have some sort of moral fabric holding their society together, whether it was under the wrong ideology or not. They weren't ripping unborn babies out of wombs. They weren't castrating small children. They weren't doing all these weird, outlandish things that this society is doing now. There's no wonder that the West is demonized and looked at the way they are by the rest of the world. For instance, come to find out, we put a LGBTQ plus divided by minus symbol Sesame Street in Iraq. Now, I can tell you, I have Iraqi friends. I have Lebanese friends, Jordanian friends. I have a lot of friends from the Middle East. They don't practice LGBTQ, whatever the hell this weird shit is. They don't do that there. They don't. Nor do they want that there. So for another society to push that on an opposite society, no wonder they hate us. I would hate us too if I was trying to push that on somebody else's kids. It's just wrong. But when it comes to this topic, and I'm going to keep this extremely short today, I got a late start. There really isn't much of an argument here. If you watch any clown news network, Scott Jennings is my hero right now, but somehow I feel there's an alternative motive here behind him and his recent found CNN fame, because he works for CNN. Whether he's on the right or left, it doesn't matter. The simplest way to put it is, if you come here without the proper paperwork, then you will leave here without the proper paperwork. What is there to discuss? Tell me that. What is there truly to discuss? I watched a clip this morning and they had the normal talking heads on CNN that sit there and babble on about a whole bunch of issues that for some reason they really think that 3/4 of society is just brain dead and believes what they say. 2025, right? That's the year. And I'm 47 years old and I've seen a lot in that short period of time. But never in that 47 years have I seen a society take such a backwards turn to digress instead of progress. Now, progressiveness is not good. It's very bad. Horrible, as a matter of fact. But you must be able to change. You must be able to alter your course for the betterment of all people. That's really not that difficult to do when you already have a moral fiber set there. We all know I don't practice religion anymore, but I do promote religion. I believe that religions are very good because they teach a structure, a wholesomeness, a way to treat others. Just the whole do unto them as you would want them to do unto you and all that, right? Fine and dandy. You can't do certain things to people without there being repercussions, and that should apply. For instance, a lot of the criminal stuff that goes on is not properly punished. I did, as we all know here, that tune into this daily, I did 8 years in a penal system. They play PlayStation 5, they drink, they smoke, they fornicate with other men. It's one big giant party. That's what prison has become. The guards aren't allowed to put their hands on the inmates anymore. That's another problem, is you have to have discipline. People don't really learn unless it's through physical pain or punishment. Why would we keep people alive that have unalived other people, admittedly, knowingly, on camera, whatever it may be? Why would we continue to pay for that life to be fed and kept in a cell? Isn't that unhumanitarian to keep someone locked up like that? Put them out of their misery already, so we ain't got to pay for them all. It's a no-brainer. That one's easy. Now, this immigration thing is easy too. Real simple. Shut it down. Come here illegally, you're going back where you came from. We should all be thankful we have Social Security numbers. Or maybe you hate this country. Well, then take your way ass down south, because they'll take you. But then again, Mexico may not take you. Mexico's not as bad as people say either. Of course, it's got bad areas, just like any country would. But they actually have a GDP. They actually have cities and people that are millionaires and all kinds of stuff like that. People that are regular, everyday walk of life. I mean, it's a thriving country in its own right for being in South America. So Argentina, Brazil, but I guess it would be next in line. I don't really know where that lies. I'd like to look into it. So this has been Cup of Joe with Poe. I am your host, Don P, and I'm going to get off this here talking screen and get out here in the real world and get it shookin' and jiving. So just remember this. It's real plain, easy to understand. If you come here illegally, then you will be returned to your country of origin. There is no paperwork. There is no due process. There is none of that. There is, how did you get here? Well, then you have to go back. Try again. File the proper paperwork. Do things the right way. That's all. But when it comes to you leaving, you're going to leave the same way you came. Remember that. So, life is what we make it. Okay? I'm a spectator. Cup of Joe with Poe. We need a co-host. We could use a co-host. But The amazing thing about this experience of being a human is to spot other humans and help them. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to just open all your resources and all the things you have to the whole world and say, everyone just walk in here for free and use all this stuff we have here. Then there would be no more stuff left for anyone.
Says who?
Says economics. I mean, that's just simple. Can you walk into another country right now
Economics
illegally?
is made by a whole bunch of people holding on to a whole lot of things and making sure the rest of us don't get a chance to have access to it. That has
I have
nothing-
access to everything, and I'm homeless.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm not
everything is
hurting.
renewable. Everything can be shared, but we're just not doing it. There's a difference.
Well, we have a currency. That's why, because you would need one world currency to do that.
Yep. Human
Or
beings
go
are
back
not
to a
illegal.
buyer
No one
barter
has
system.
right to any piece of land. They're
Well,
just
yeah, we're
dumb.
sovereign over the land because we're the humans. We're the smartest animals on the planet.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
No, what other animal is smarter than us?
Every single animal has sovereignty over the land. Anything that exists has the ability. And the right
Sovereignty
to
means you
exist.
have control of,
Anything
and
that
you are
exists has the
dominant.
right to exist.
Well, yeah, we all have a right to exist.
Yeah, and then
Correct.
people imposing their will on others.
Like eating a cow. The cow doesn't want to be ate.
Animals' rights or other
Right.
life's life, a right to exist is wrong. It's not wrong.
Correct. Cows want to live, but we eat them.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way. Plants don't have to consume other living things in order to sustain themselves. So
Well, they
I'm gonna get
consume the nutrients from the worms that eat dead things or whatever. It's all one big
water,
symbiotic life.
photosynthesis, exactly. They
Yeah,
do it
I
right.
agree with you.
We don't do it right.
I believe society does need to change
We
drastically.
can
And
just be better. Every day we're just meant to be better. But we
correct.
just aren't.
The big problem is people don't want to acknowledge the humans first. They want to put themselves in categories, and that's where
Exactly.
things get wrong because we're all one.
Divide
All
and
is
conquer.
one. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Control the media. Control the masses. Get at people's heartstrings. That's where you really get them. If you can
That's
get them
why I just-
emotionally
I
invested.
don't believe in human beings being illegal.
Well, I mean, I do believe in borders. You got to have borders. All right. Well, that was nice, wasn't it? I would like to have more discussion with this gentleman. He seems worldly. Maybe he'll come up tomorrow and I can have a talk with him. So let me see if I can schedule that. Would you like to be on our show tomorrow?
No, sorry.
No? Okay, well, I like dialogue and I like to be able to talk to people, you know what I mean? Because that's what this is all about, being able to reach others and have an intelligent conversation, you know what I mean? That doesn't turn into yelling and screaming and I'm louder so I'm right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I do appreciate your interaction, though. Thank you. And you have a great day. And we're going to get off here and tune in tomorrow because we'll have a whole new topic. But as for that, get on with your life, get out here, get motivated. Remember, body emotion stays in motion. Make someone smile, interact with others, just give back somehow. Love you guys. One.